Hello, folks. Captain Dave here in the Wolf Den. I just wanted to do a video about something that I keep seeing and I don't understand it. Uh, Friends of mine know that I'm pretty compulsive about this, I guess, because I constantly tell them about it. They're probably tired of hearing it. But my I guess what my experiences with black drum. I love black drum, and I'll tell you the reason I love black drum in Northeast Florida. It's because we get 5 of them, and we can keep them at 14 inches up to 24. With one of those 5, if it hasn't changed, with one of those 5 that can be kept over 24 inches per person. And I think it was last December 31st or 30th and 31st, I had a customer, Traveler Bob, on the boat. And we ended up sitting at the jetties at the St. Johns River inlet where it dumps into the Atlantic Ocean. And we absolutely wore out the black drum. And what were we using? Simply dead shrimp on the bottom. And we had small ones, we had little ones, we had big ones, and it was so much fun. And we loaded the boat, and we had plenty of fillets. To me, black drum fishing is 100% meat fishing. They fight like a redfish. They're basically in the same sort of areas as a redfish many times, not all the time. They seem to be in a little deeper water and that kind of thing. You don't see around here in Jacksonville, Florida, you don't see black drum up tailing in this deeper water. I've never seen it. And the thing that bothers me, and I keep telling friends of mine about, is how black drum don't eat plastic in Northeast Florida. I don't think they hit plastic in Central Florida. I'm not sure if they eat plastic anywhere on the Atlantic coast, but I can tell you 99% of the time they don't eat plastic in the St. Johns River in Jacksonville, Florida. There is that rarity moment that it does happen. I've had it in my entire fishing career, fishing life in Jacksonville, Florida. I had it happen twice. And once was in Middle Cove, one of my favorite places to fish, if there's fish in there. It's tough because there isn't always fish in there, it seems. And I was bouncing I believe it was a cream 3-inch little fishy on a jig head. And I was bouncing it on the bottom, and I kind of hit an oyster bar and bounced it off the oyster bar. It hit the bottom, instantly hooked up on black drum. Wasn't huge. I think it was 3-4 pounder kind of thing. And the other time, of the 2 times in my entire life, I caught a black drum on the north side of the North Jetty. Oh, this is so long ago. This was in my 23-foot Maycraft. I mean, we're talking over 20 years ago. I had a customer that was using a jig and shrimp, casting off the bow of the boat towards the jetty rocks. And he hooked up to a really nice redfish and was fighting the redfish. I'm standing in the back of the boat with some type of soft plastic. I can't remember what it was. And because I got a picture of it, but it was a dark, soft plastic, dark colored. I was standing in the back of the boat doing this, just bouncing the jig head on the bottom off of the rocks. And all of a sudden I felt, boop, boop, and I lifted up and I had another 3 or 4 pound black drum. And that is it. That's it when it comes to artificial lures or plastic and black drum. That's the 2 stories I got for you. I'm sure other people maybe have caught a lot more black drum on soft plastics. But what I keep seeing, and I comment all the time, is in the Gulf of America. There is all these guys doing videos from Louisiana to Texas. And I just had some backup to this yesterday from a friend of mine who lives in Texas who just did something that I never heard of before in my life. And I'll get to that in a minute. But I don't even know if it's Florida. I'm not sure on the west coast of Florida, the Gulf side of Florida. I'm not sure what goes on. But Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Texas, this seems to be very common, is using soft plastics to catch black drum. And then every time I discuss this with somebody on YouTube over in Louisiana, let's say, they go, oh, we don't catch that many black drum. Well, any more than 2 is a lot. That's what I say. And they always go, oh, we don't catch. There was several people. I watched several channels from Louisiana. I just watched videos last night from the Texas coast. I can't remember where they were, but in Texas, just yesterday, I was watching this video, and these guys are out testing, or this guy's testing his new boat in Texas. And they're throwing little crankbaits like this, little diving crankbaits up at some jetty rocks. And they're just bailing the black drum that are all about that big. Just one after another kind of thing. And I'm thinking to myself, really? On a diving plug? Now they're catching black drum on a diving plug? Never would I expect to use that kind of lure and catch a black drum around here. Never. And then, of course, over in Louisiana, they're bouncing my favorite bait, which is the matrix shad, bouncing it on the bottom, other baits, in the marsh, in a foot of water, and they're catching black drum on soft plastics. Not gulp, no stinky, nothing. Just a soft plastic and a jig head. And then, let's see. Yeah, I contact these people. I comment, and they always comment, back. And I go, you're catching these black drum. I mean, oh, it's not that common. Well, like I said, if it's more than 2, it's common for them. I mean, it's like they can almost target them. Long ago, I was watching Louisiana Sportsman Outdoors. It was a TV show. And their guys are in a canal, like way back at Marsh Canal, that a canal that was cut by the oil industry or whatever, which is all over the place in southeast Louisiana, I guess. Lots and lots of canals, and these guys are going down the canal, and it's a charter guy, and he's got like 3 guys with him, and they're casting soft plastics on jig heads. And he looks forward to the boat, and what's he see? Like a V wake, like geese flying in a V formation, coming towards them, throwing wakes in a V-shaped pattern. And he immediately takes the trolling motor and goes straight over to the bank. Gets right up in the bank and sits there and tells these guys, get ready, get ready. Here comes an entire school of big redfish coming down the canal. Well, here they come. And they get right near him. And he says, cast right in front of them. Don't spook them. Let them find it. And these guys, 3 guys go, boom, boom, and they cast soft plastics right in front of them. And they jig it. And every guy on the boat hooks up to a black drum instantly. And these black drum are, I don't know, 25 pounds, 25 pounders on soft plastic. And they're all hooked up. And it was like an amazing thing for me to see that. It was really the first time I saw this. But what my question is in the Gulf of America, why is it so different? Why are the black drum so aggressive? What's the difference between a black drum in the St. Johns River in Northeast Florida, Jacksonville? What is the difference between our black drum and those black drum? I don't know. I mean, we have depth, way too much current. But still, black drum are up in our creeks. And I'm in the creeks all the time here. I've been going with my buddy Nick. Why aren't we getting black drum on soft plastics? And I'm talking, soft plastics, any kind. Here's what I normally would be throwing. This is a bad example here. This is the matrix shad. Matrix shads. I really like these. I've always liked these. Paddle tail, flat, and then here it's like a boat shape. They're shaped exactly like a boat. They're flat on top, and then it goes to a keel at the bottom right here. Right here it goes to like a keel shape. So normally I'm using kind of a dark color, 3-inch paddle tail. This is all you really need. But it doesn't matter. These guys are catching black drum on these. Believe it or not, they're catching black drum on the most do-nothing in the world. That right there is called a sparkle beetle. It's got a little forked tail. And they all have this red dot on the side. But I mean, that is just a do-nothing glass minnow imitating kind of lure. Okay? They catch them on that. They catch them on something bigger. All kinds. This is what I'm talking about when I'm talking soft plastics. That's a little bit bigger of a paddle tail. Right there. All right, these are Riptide something or others here. Riptide salt and pepper or something. All right, so they're catching them on this type of lure. And in Texas last night, I'm watching them catching them on small diving crankbaits. The crankbait wasn't but this big, going along some jetty rocks. Why is it that here, to catch black drum, you need a crab of some sort? Blue crab, fiddler crab, or you need a shrimp. of some sort. Why? The only question I can answer about that is in the deeper water, black drum are all about this smell. They're not that aggressive. Over in Louisiana, Texas, obviously, Alabama, Mississippi, the Panhandle, I don't know, the Gulf of America. They are more aggressive and they chase down a bait. In our river, it has to be about this, the smell. Everything's about smell. When me and Traveler Bob were catching all these black drum, which I've done hundreds of times, in the winter at the inlet, live shrimp, dead shrimp, fiddler crabs, blue crabs. That's how I've caught all my black drum. It's all about because the bait smells. And believe it or not, the smellier, the better for me. Big, fat, nasty, dead shrimp. I've caught the hell out of damn black drum. So, that's the question that I cannot get answered. I can't get answered why. Other than the only thing I can think of is water clarity, water depth, and too much damn current around here. I mean, we take it for granted that in Jacksonville, in the St. Johns River, we don't catch a lot. There's a lot of stuff that we don't get that just on the other side of the state and in the Gulf of America, they catch all the time. I don't know. That was the whole topic that I wanted to discuss. I cannot believe that I can't catch. I catch a redfish, no problem on a soft plastics, on a diving bait, and I'm sure in that same creek, there's black drum probably everywhere, all over. Every turn, there's a deep spot. There's probably some black drum down there, but we're not catching them unless we go to a shrimp. What is the other thing that I saw amazing? I've seen sheep's head caught on a diving plug. I've seen sheep's head caught on a top water plug in the Gulf of America. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, sheep's head eating a soft plastic shrimp look-alike. Well, how many people throw a DOA shrimp around here? Right? Do you catch sheep's head on them? Probably not. So sheep's head you can put in that same category that you're not getting them on plastic. You just are not getting them. And there's so much of the fishery there that if you just want to go out on a half a day and throw some lures, like the matrix shads here, you might just go out there. You're not going to go through the whole bait thing, that you're all of a sudden limited to flounder, trout, maybe yellowmouth trout, weak fish, reds, and then of course all the other time of year that it's not cold water, bluefish, ladyfish, all the junk. You get all the junk on these too during the summer, spring, fall. But just to go out and catch redfish, flounder, trout, and maybe weak fish, that's just the wintertime. You're not going to catch all the other crap. So, has anybody else ever said to themselves, why the hell do we not catch black drum on a soft plastic? Do y'all watch videos that are over there in the Gulf the Gulf states. I mean, okay. I had a friend who's up near Fort Worth, Texas. He texted me yesterday. He's visiting Baffin Bay, Texas. Big inshore body of water. And he's in his kayak and all that. So he's visiting there just by himself because he's fishing mostly lakes. He used to fish over here and was the best DOA shrimp fisherman, bar none, in this entire area. This guy was a master at catching everything on that DOA shrimp. But he still didn't catch black drum and sheep's head. But we're talking trout, snook, redfish, flounder. He whacked them. And he had a boat and he has kayaks. Well, he took his kayak down to Baffin Bay, Texas, somewhere. And he just sent me a text yesterday where he was fishing on a pier, believe it or not, because I think it got windy on him. And Texas is all about big wind, right, when you're out fishing. And he started fishing this pier. And he caught, it looked to me like damn near a 50-pound black drum on a live mullet. Are you kidding me? Take all the live mullet in the world and throw them out here in the St. Johns River. And you will be a really, really old man or woman by the time you even get a black drum. It'll never happen. You'll die. You won't be alive anymore. You will try so hard to catch a black drum on a live mullet. It ain't gonna happen. I've fished, you fish. If you're local, you've watched thousands of videos. You spent thousands of hours on the water. You're probably not catching a 50-pound or so, it looked, black drum on a live mullet. I have the picture here. I don't know if I can just hold it up to the camera. Let me see if I can just show it. It's on my little tiny phone. All right. But it was amazing. He's like, look what I caught on a mullet. He's never caught anything like that on a mullet. Let's see if I can get this picture just. It looks as big as he is. Now, he's not a big guy. He's a little guy. He was always my little wiry friend compared to me. That's why he was such a good kayak person. So let's see if you can see that. Let's see. There you go. I'm trying to get it better here for you. The light. Let me turn the light off and see if it's better. Nah. But you get the gist. You can kind of see it, right? Let me turn the light back on here. But you can kind of see it. I mean, that thing is an absolute monster. Now, around here, the only way you're going to catch that fish is with a crab, a pile of fiddlers on a hook, or some shrimp. I mean, that's amazing. Totally amazing on a live mullet. I just can't figure it out. And it bothers me. It bothers me. I obsess over things like that. So, well, there used to be that radio station in Jacksonville, Florida, with these two guys that had the wacky morning show. It was their names were Lex and Terry, and then they moved to another city and all that. So whatever. They moved to Texas, I believe, in the beginning. Lex and Terry. I think they may be back in Jacksonville. I'm not sure. But all I remember, and I'm not a big radio listener. I don't listen to the radio. I'm not hugely into music or talk radio or anything. But I do remember, and it had nothing to do with fishing. Had nothing to do with fishing. But I remember they used to refer to Jacksonville as Freakville. And the only thing I could think of is when they used to say something, oh yeah, in Freakville, we're back in Freakville, is how freaky the fishing is. You know, and being a fishing guide for the last like 28 years now, I don't know what people think, but they don't realize when they come here, they think it's going to be tiki bars, palm trees, thong bikinis, blue water, flats with sand. Who the heck knows what they're thinking? And it's everything that it's not what they're thinking if they have this in their head. And I certainly hope they don't come here thinking they're going to throw soft plastics if they're in their own boat or they're out with me. We're not going to throw soft plastics 90% of the time. We're going to use shrimp. We're going to use some kind of live bait and or dead bait. And that's, you know, for the average person I used to have on my old boat or the people that'll be on my new boat coming. We're going to use bait. We're going to float redfish with live shrimp. And we're not going to be doing any of this. I may because I don't want to use up their bait if I'm pitching to see what's around. But we certainly are not going to catch any black drum on these lures. So that's the thought that I've had. And yesterday, seeing these guys in Texas catching, wonderful. I mean, it was enough. It was enough black drum that they're going, oh my God, another one. Oh my God, another one. Oh my God, we're deep into the black drum. It just wears me out. The Gulf of Mexico, now called the Gulf of America, is 100% another world that I want to fish compared to the Atlantic coast. If you're up in the Carolinas or up in Georgia or something like that, and if you've caught black drum on soft plastics consistently, I'm talking you catch a couple every trip, okay? Put a comment below. Put a comment below. I'd love just to hear about it. Just a short comment. Yeah, I catch them consistently here in Charleston, or I've caught them consistently here in, I don't know, somewhere in the Carolinas. I'd love to know. Now, what's coming up is when I get my new boat, there's going to be a whole lot of rigging going on. There's going to be a whole lot of that. And I'm going to throw out one of these challenges that I see on other people's web or other people's YouTube channels, that if I can get 1,000 likes or something like that, I'm going to give away a trip for 2 people, a charter, so they can come and fish for the day free of charge. But I'm going to do a random picking of people that comment and all that. And I'm not even going to do it if it doesn't get like 500 likes. I've never had like 500 likes or 500 views in a 24-hour period on my YouTube channel ever. So I am going to not have to take anybody fishing, I guess, because that's going to be the if that happens or whatever kind of thing, 100 likes won't happen within a 24-hour period. So I don't have to, hold up my end of the bargain, I'm sure. But there's going to be that kind of stuff coming up. All right, well, that's the story, and thanks for watching. I know this is a long video, but at the same time, it's one of these things that I never hear discussed. Does anybody ever think about this besides me? I don't know. So let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, like the video, share it, whatever. I don't beg for all that stuff on most videos. A lot of these people, I call it, they do a lot of begging. So, all right, I'll talk to you on the next one. Thanks for watching.